SEPC coordinators for this year. I'm Terry, I'm our publications coordinator, and this is Veronica, she's our administrative coordinator. We are just doing this little hangout session with two past coordinators, just to ask them some questions about what it is to be a conference coordinator, what benefits does it have to it, and things like that. So I want to let them introduce themselves, and Grace, why don't you go first and tell us when you were a coordinator, what's your affiliation, and what do you do now?
Okay. Hi, my name is Grace. I was a 2015 coordinator, so last year's conference, and I'm a Sigma Kappa. And since the conference, I graduated from Western Kentucky University, and now I'm in graduate school for industrial organizational psychology, and I'm getting my master's in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Wow, cool.
Okay, Lauren, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I was a 2014 conference coordinator. I'm a Delta Gamma, and I graduated from the College of Charleston. And since then, I am in grad school at the University of Memphis for speech and language pathology.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, so we just have a couple of questions. So first we wanted to ask you all, what made you all want to be a conference coordinator? I know many people have different reasons, and what inspired you all to make that decision to apply and be one? So why don't you go ahead and go first?
Me?
Yeah.
So I applied to be a conference coordinator. I went to the conference in, I guess, 2012, and I was just really inspired and loved everything that was going on. And so one of the girls on my panel exec with me was like, you should apply to be a coordinator. Like, you have nothing to lose. Like, you should do it. So I talked to my advisor and some other girls that went to the conference with me that year, and I ended up applying at the conference in 2013, and that's when I was selected, and it was a great experience, and I'm glad that I was encouraged and pushed to apply.
Grace, what about you?
What?
I actually joined my Panhellenic Council when I was a freshman, and I was the youngest member on my council, and I was really nervous and didn't really feel confident in what I was doing. And so when I came to the conference my freshman year, SEPC was really kind of the factor that changed it all. It gave me the confidence to kind of step up and take advantage of the opportunity I'd been given. You know, getting able to be involved in my Panhellenic so young. And so, since my very first conference, I loved that experience so much and it inspired me so much. I wanted to be, just like the girls in front, all the coordinators I saw freshman year, I wanted to be like them one day. So when the time came around, I made sure that I was going to apply no matter what. And I was actually studying abroad when I applied, and I had to do my interview from a hostel in Spain, and that didn't stop me.
Wow,
I dreamed about it from the beginning. Yeah. So I just really wanted to be able to kind of inspire girls like I was inspired when I was younger. So being a conference coordinator seemed like the best way to do that.
Yeah,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So with Apply, what are some of the benefits that you had as being a coordinator? So Grace, if you want to answer that first, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first off, it's just really fun. I think that's, you get a lot of great experiences and from the conference, and you really get to grow close with the other coordinators and, meet girls from all around the Southeast that are coming and helping with the conference. I just Snapchatted one of the conference coordinators that, that was a coordinator in my year, and telling her I was on this video chat. So, you get really close to them and you really get to experience the conference in a different way. But you also, get to meet some of the cool conference speakers that you kind of fangirl over when you're attending the conference. So you actually get to, meet with them, have lunch with them, get to know them on a, individual level. So that's a really cool perk. And just in general, you get to kind of see the behind-the-scenes action of the conference and have a really creative input in helping it all come together.
Yeah, Lauren, what did you feel are some of the benefits of being a coordinator?
I agree with everything Grace said. It's a lot of fun. You definitely get to meet girls from other Panhellenics at different schools, and get really close with them and see and hear what they're doing on and their panelists are doing on their campuses, and talk about like the differences and benefits and things from different campuses and how it could work on yours. You get to meet speakers, and actually get to like meet them and have conversations with them that you might not get to have as just a participant in the conference, and stuff like that. So it's definitely a fun and unique experience that I feel like many college students don't get the opportunity to have, but it's definitely a rewarding and fun experience to have.
Cool. Okay, so this question again is for both of you. I guess we can start with Lauren and then go to Grace. So what are some things that you've learned as a coordinator that you use in the professional world?
As a coordinator, you learn to work with different people who don't necessarily live in the same city as you, so you have to learn how to the communication piece down and how to get things done with each other, even though it's not like when you're on a Panhellenic or a chapter board, you have them right there, so you have to learn to work with other people. And one of the unique things about the program that I'm in is that we also do the only student-led conference for our field, and so we work a lot with professionals and keynote speakers who are coming in to speak at the conference who aren't from Memphis. So it's organizing them and getting everything for the conference put together, which a lot of being on the SEPC planning committee helped me do. So it gave me kind of like that advantage in getting involved on this conference, which will help me make connections on a more personal level as I graduate and go into the field. It also, being conference coordinator helps you, I thought, or personally it helped me become more confident in your leadership skills, which will go on to help you in anything you do later in life. So.
Cool.
I definitely agree with everything Lauren said, and I would just add that you get an opportunity to speak in front of a big group of people that you really don't get the opportunity to do that as a student in college. In my interviews, I've been asked if I'm good at public speaking, if I'm comfortable with it, and I really have firsthand experience of saying, I've been able to speak in front of 1,000+ women at a conference, and what other graduate from undergrad can say that when they're going into an interview? So that's an experience that you're never going to get anywhere else. And Allison, the executive director of the conference, she does a great job of really coaching you and telling you, the little tips and tricks that make public speaking, make you a better public speaker. So having her to really help mentor you through that whole process is fun, and you learn a lot from her. So you also just learn how to conduct yourself in a business manner, I guess. You get to run the business meetings at the conference and network with professionals. So you have to represent the conference in a professional manner. So just kind of getting more exposure to that and how to network with people that you'll be older than you, and you need to come across like you're mature and know what you're talking about, and that's something that's going to carry you through after you graduate in the working field as well.
Yeah.
So I guess the next question would be, what advice would you give to a woman who is kind of like on the fence about applying to be a coordinator, doesn't know if she should or not, is kind of waiting until the last minute to do it? What advice would you give her? Grace, we'll just go ahead and start with you.
I would say you should definitely just give it a try. If anything, an interviewing experience and the application experience is good practice. So I don't think it could ever really hurt to go through an interview process. But also, I think it's a great way to stay involved in, being a leader in the Greek world. As a senior, a lot of the students that apply for this role are going to be juniors and seniors, and sometimes they're transitioning out of taking a more hands-on leadership role in their chapter. I mean, I know that when I applied for this, I had just stepped down as president and just stepped down as vice president of my Panhellenic, and so I didn't really know where I fit in anymore. I wanted to be involved, and I didn't want to take a back seat for my senior year, but I really didn't know where I was needed. And so this is a great way to continue being involved in the Greek world, and even on a grander level, because this is a national conference and there's people coming from all over. So you're not only helping your own chapter or affiliation and your own university by representing them, but you're going to actually be helping put on a national conference for Greek women everywhere. So that's a really cool experience, and it's a good way to stay involved after you kind of take a step back from your own chapter or Panhellenic.
Yeah, Lauren, what advice would you give to girls applying?
Definitely agree with all the advice Grace said. It's definitely an experience that you should just go for because you have nothing to lose and only something to gain. And whether the interview experience alone is just good practice for like a real world experience, and it's like Grace said again. Like when I was a conference coordinator, I was stepping down as Panhellenic president, and I didn't really have anywhere else to go and attribute on my campus in the Panhellenic world in a leadership position, but I didn't want to be done. So it was definitely the next step, and you get involved on a greater Panhellenic scale and get to see the Panhellenic world and the impacts that it makes beyond just your college campus.
Yeah. I would also add to that, I would also add to that I think that it's a great way to just make sure that you're staying involved with everything on had brain fart right then. I had this great thing I wanted to say, and then it slipped out of my mind, but gosh, come back to me because I'll totally remember and be able to inspire you with what I was going to say. Gosh.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, obviously I haven't experienced the conference yet as a coordinator, but one of the cool things is, actually having attended the conference 2 years in a row and now being able to do it as a conference coordinator. There's so many things that you saw kind of that you really liked or maybe wanted to change but were excited about, and actually being behind the scenes has been one of my favorite parts about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I remember what I was going to say now. But I know when I was applying, I was really worried it was going to take a lot of time and be, really overwhelming. And I was applying to grad school, and it was my senior year. I wanted to be able to enjoy that and, apply myself in school. But since you do have so many people on the team that are there to help you, and you do have a mentor, and you have an advisor at your own school, and you have always willing to help, then it's really not as daunting as it seems. And you have a full year to pull it together. And yeah, it is a lot of work, and there may be times where you need to put in a lot of effort, but it's totally worth it, and you have people there that are helping you along the way. I mean, I know there's points when I had a lot to do for the conference all in a short amount of time, and people were there reaching out to help me, and you all do it together. So it's a group effort, and everyone's there to help you along the way. So it's definitely a manageable task, and it's totally worth all the effort you put into it.
I would agree with that. I'd agree with that. And you have your support system at your university, whether through your chapter, through your Panhellenic, or whatever you're involved in. But this gives you another group of support with the other conference coordinators and their advisors that are there to help you, whether it be trying to get everything done for the conference or trying to balance the conference with what else you have going on campus. They're there to help you in both aspects. So it's just great to have another support system in place beyond just your college campus.
Yeah. Okay. So I just have one last question. What do you think your favorite part of being a conference coordinator was?
Okay, I'll go. I think that my favorite part, beyond meeting the other coordinators, who became some of my really close friends during the experience, would just be the way that I was kind of pushed out of my comfort zones when I was a coordinator. I was the publications coordinator, and so I created all the newsletters and the book, and that was something I really wasn't comfortable with at the time. I didn't really think I was a creative person. I didn't have really exposure to layout and kind of, putting together a book or advertising, marketing, things like that. I just didn't think were my strong suits. So I was really nervous, and, it pushed me a lot, but I learned so much. I, kind of knew that now I can tackle any sort of project if I put my mind to it and I really work hard at it. And even if I may not have the skills in the beginning, I'll gain those skills in the end. So I really like how it kind of forced me to, take something I thought of as a weakness and turn it into a strength. So it was a really cool experience in that way.
Cool.
I would definitely agree with that. It definitely pushes you outside your comfort zone, which I liked and needed. My favorite part was also just being at the conference and seeing all the hard work that you and the other coordinators put in throughout the past year and seeing it all come together and hearing all the participants and all the people who were at the conference talk about how great they enjoyed a session or how great they liked this part of the conference that you might not have been so sure about when you were planning it and not so sure how it would come across, and hearing the positive feedback from all of the people who were at the conference was just so rewarding. And then spending the time with the other conference coordinators at the conference in kind of a more, you're trying to get everything executed the way that you had it planned, but it's not as crazy as the planning meetings, like getting everything and trying to get everything organized. You have more time to like relax and get to know the other coordinators in a more casual setting, and seeing all your hard work pay off, which is rewarding and fun all at the same time.
Yeah, well, for everyone from the conference coordinating team this year wants to thank you all for joining us today, taking time out of your Saturday for joining us. I'm sure that this will inspire many more to for a coordinating position. And if anybody applying ever has any questions, feel free to contact us. We're here to answer questions, and we can't wait to see you at the conference. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got to talk. Bye.
Bye.